thank you so much for watching this video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I started my solids and just talk a little bit about my solid journey and how it has been. So yeah, so if it's the first time you see me, my name is Denzalo TT. So this channel is about lifestyle, reality, mom, finance, you name it. It is this channel. So I just felt that it's necessary for me to just do a video about solids. I never really got deep into talking about how I actually started my solids. So what I did was I did not, please note, healthcare professional in any way. Please do consult your doctor for anything, everything. 'Cause this is just the way I did it with my little one. So how I actually started it was when Teta was about 5 months, she was starting to get very, very hungry. So I wanted to do the whole breastfeed exclusively for 6 months. But then she was starting to get hungry and she would wake up and sleep and she'd wake up and cry and all these things. And she was always on the boob because she was never full. So then that's when I decided to introduce formula. So I went and I bought Nan and I gave her the formula to drink and she drank it. No, I didn't start with Nan. I started with Enfracare because I wasn't sure if it was gonna be fine. But then it was very dense. So after she drank it, she just vomited all of it out, like projectile vomit. You know the one where they go like, yeah. She her tummy could not take it in, so I changed that to Nan, and then she drank Nan, and it was okay, but she was still very hungry. So at about 5 months and a half, I think 3 weeks, 5 months and 3 weeks, that's when I decided to introduce solids. So how I started with solids, I didn't like cook it myself because I was scared that I'd make it too thick or too soft. I don't know. So the best thing for me to do is to just go to the shop and buy Purity butternut. So I bought a small the small one, the small Purity, the butternut one. I started her off with that, but I didn't give her like the whole thing to finish it up. So I only gave her like two teaspoons. I gave her 2 teaspoons, and I continued to give her milk. And immediately after I gave her that, she was able to poop, which is awesome. Because most of the time, you find that when kids start with solids, they become constipated and they can't poop. So I did that. Then the following, so I just did two. Because remember, the purpose of her starting solids was not necessarily to take away her dependence on milk. You know, milk was still her main source of feeding. So I did that, and then the following day I went two, and then after a week, that's when I increased it to like four. I increased it to 4 teaspoons, and she was just having 4 teaspoons once a day. And then when I saw that, okay, so this is actually working for her system, I think now she can eat half of the bottle, half of the Purity bottle, and then it's not a bottle, it's like a jar. She can finish half of the Purity jar, and then after that, she will have that. So then I was giving her that, and then 6 months, 6 months and a half, 7 months. Then when she got to 7 months, I started giving her the full jar. Then another thing that I did was when I was starting with the Purity, I also bought her like cereal, but the Purity one, the rice cereal Purity one. On the instruction of the box, it says that you must pour like 3 or something. I didn't do that. So what I did was I took it very slowly. I literally only poured 1 tablespoon of that Purity and I mixed it with a lot of milk so that she can, she can be able to digest it nicely because the system was very, very small. So I'd give her that, and then I'd also give her like the 2 teaspoons of Purity. And then when she got to 7 months, I started buying her a 7 month cereal Purity. And that's when I decided that I'm going to start cooking porridge for her. So she was still drinking the milk that she used to drink. And yeah, and then I bought her like cereal, the mixed grain one. So the mixed grain one was a little bit thicker than the rice cereal. and that's what we gave her. And then yeah, then she was having that, and she was fine. So the problem started occurring when I changed her milk. So she moved from formula 0 to 6 months, and obviously we upgraded her. When she was 7 months, we upgraded her to like a 6 to 12 months formula. Oh, guys, the worst. She got constipated, like real constipation, like bad constipation. And I just didn't understand why. When you don't get it, you think, ah, maybe it's the food that I'm giving her. Because I was giving her the same food. I'd give her greens, because kids need to eat greens for them to go to the toilet. I'd give her greens. I'd give her like the butternut. I'd give her fruits for fiber. I'd increase her fiber intake. I gave her water, but she was still constipated. And I was just like, what? And then it came to a point where she would be screaming to poo, guys. Yo. She would scream, my heart. And I was just like, oh my word, what is happening? So then when the screaming became a lot, I went to, obviously I had to get medication to soften the stools because it was not working. Like when I gave her water, when I do mixtures like prunes and all these things, it was not working. Why? Because she was continuing with the thicker formula than what she used to have. So I didn't even know. I didn't even know that it was the formula. So then I went to the pharmacy, and they gave me some meds to give her, and I gave her the meds and they helped. But I don't want her to be dependent on those meds. So then, the constipation even continued, and I was like, what is going on here? So I started to pray like, God, can you please tell me like what's happening here? And then I got, a revelation that everything is the same except one thing: the milk. Her milk changed. So I moved her from 0 to 6 months milk and started giving her 6 to 12 months. So that one is thicker than the 0 to 6 months milk. And I didn't know. Well, I did, but then it didn't click at that time. So then I stopped giving her that milk, and because I wanted her to poop again, I just gave her like my breast milk and water, and yeah, she was able to poop, but she was still crying very, very badly. But then, she was able to poo. And after that, I changed the formula. But when I changed it, I didn't buy the 6 to 12 months. I bought the 0 to 6 months. And then she started farting, and I was like, that's a good sign. It means that she'll be regular again. So right now, I'm busy ensuring that she becomes regular again. But I will be taking her to the doctor, so that the doctor can just monitor her, because I don't want her to go on meds. Not that there's anything wrong with medication. Medication is good, it helps, it makes things easier, but I don't want her bowel movement to be dependent on the medication. She's still young, but at the same time, I don't want her paining when she's doing number 2, because at the end, if every time she associates it with pushing, pain, crying, she'll just hold it in all the time, and it will cause problems later. So then I've decided to just take her to the doctor so that the doctor can actually check her. So yeah, mama, so you just need to be a little bit careful when coming to solids. It's Don't be in a rush. When you feel like you're not ready for your child to eat solids, then you're not ready. The reason why you have an instinct is God has given you that instinct to know your child and to know what is best for your child. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this video was insightful.